Shalom. Allah start giving all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostle, it was a great millstone. Salutation on Filet. This pushing is truth, for cause for comes every truth, save charity. Alright, this is the brother I'm going to buy from the Birmingham Camp, Alabama GMS. This one gets this scene just going to they got a list, brother got we got the series going on. This is why we call you the devil. And I'm doing all this about how these damn devils, the so-called white people, the Edomites, red people, the red Hebrew Edomites, how they conquered the earth, man, conquered, the lands of the earth, and how they pursued the so-called Negro Latino natives, Jacob, the Israelites, Edom pursuing his brother with the sword, so they took it by violence, so which is how they took it is by the sword. With the sword is the gun, modern day gun, which is the modern day gun. But they had guns, back then. The gun, they put the powder inside the hole. The gun, the old gun ringer, or I don't know how you say it. Forgot the name what they call it, but the old gun ringer, they wind that shit up and it shoots. But I'm reading this article, going to the article on foreign affairs. It says how Europe conquered the world. Right? Reading between 1492 and 1914, Europeans conquered 84% of the globe, established colonies, and spread their influence across every inhabited continent. This was not inevitable, Slocky. In fact, for decades, historians, social scientists, and biologists have wondered why and how did Europe rise to the top, even when societies in Asia and the Middle East were far more advanced. Reading on so far, satisfactory answers have been exclusive, but this question is of the utmost importance, given that Europe's power determined everything from who ran the slave trade to who grew rich or remained immured in poverty. One might think the reason for Europe's dominance obvious. The Europeans were the first to industrialize, and they were immune to the disease such as smallpox that devastated indigenous population. So that's when these damn devils came into power, man. All they did was bought disease, rape, rob, took what wasn't theirs. By what? By violence, by the sword, by giving the tribe of Gad, which is today y'all call them the natives, the tribe of Gad, or smallpox. They tried to kill off Gad, nearly killed off Gad, the so-called natives. These damn devils ain't did nothing but they took the lands, and they pursued the so-called Negro Latino natives with the sword, with the guns and so forth. Reading on, but the latter reason alone cannot explain the conquest of the Americas. Since many young Native American warriors survived the academics, it fails to explain Europe's colonization of India, since the Indians had similar immunity. Industrialization also falls short as an explanation. The Europeans had taken control of more than 35% of the planet. Even before they began to industrialize, of course, the the lead Europeans took in developing the technology of guns, armed ships, and for fortifications was critical. But all the other major civilization in Asia had the same gunpowder technology. Many of them also fought with guns. So yeah, like I say, they that's how you damn devil the so-called white people, the red Hebrew Edomites. These devils, the devil, the word deceiver. That's how they take what wasn't theirs by force, by the gun. The modern day gun. That's how they got the natives and all the tribes. And that's how they got most of the other nations as well too, to submit to their power, under their power by the by their technology, by their guns and shit. By their military might. So that's how they got what they got now, by the force of the sword, by the by violence. They didn't come diplomatically, to try to, and let us, have a, make a trade, for like uh for like trade for goods, but they ain't do that. They just they just took what wasn't theirs, and just killed off whoever they wanted to, and so they could have have the land and the goods for themselves, and not to just to take a share of this, and y'all take a share of what we got. No, they wanted whatever who was in that land, what they had for them. So these damn devils, they ain't no more blood sucking leeches, man. They take what not theirs, So see that I want to read some more on this. Yeah, that was about it, So let me go to the scriptures. This is on Revelations 6:3. And when he had opened his second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." In Revelation 6:4, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. So yeah, the damn devils, so-called white people, that's all they did. They took peace from the earth. They the ones that brought the violence to the earth. They brought violence, death, death, to the earth, man. Took peace from the earth. With the sword, which is known, I say, the modern day gun. They bought that they bought that violence, that violence and death to the earth, since they came into power. And cause like I said, they are nothing but blood sucking leeches, man. They take what's not there, take more than what they need to have, So from there, I'm gonna go to Genesis 27:41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, "The days of mourning of my father are at hand, then when I slay my brother Jacob." So yeah. So Esau, so-called white people, red Hebrew Edomites, the red people, man, they hate the so-called Negro Latino natives. They hate Jacob. They hate Jake because they're so-called Negro Latino natives that have the blessing of the Lord Yahweh Shah, have the blessing of the Lord from the Lord. So Esau hates that, and Esau is doing it, try to do everything, everything in his power to destroy Jake, man. Take away Jake. Which they did. They took away Jake heritages, which knowing so-called Negro so-called Negro Latino natives being a Hebrew Israelite, but that truth is coming out now from the apostles on down. Started with Abba Bivens, but Abba Bivens on down to now. To now. That truth is coming back out. To our people who they really are, not African Americans. That deception that the so-called white man put out there. The Esau, the red man, put out the Edomites. And that's why Esau still to this day they still want to take Jake out. And the time gonna come with Jacob's trouble, he's gonna do that, but he's not gonna utterly destroy the house of Jacob, which the elect is gonna be protected in the times of Jacob's trouble. That remnant. But Esau gonna only go so far. The Lord gonna let Esau go so far to the point, Esau, the Lord gonna give power unto his men. Lord gonna give power unto his men to take Esau down. When the Lord comes back, Lord's return, and these damn devils gonna go over the Lord too, but they're gonna get destroyed, when the Lord returns. But from there, we'll go to Micah 2:2. And they coveted fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away, so they oppress a man in his heritage, in his house, even a man and his heritage. So what they do, man, they coveted fields, man. They took the lands which were not theirs, man. They took it like they said they took it by violence, man. That what these damn devil so-called white people did, the red Hebrew Edomites, man, the red man, the bloody man, they took what's not theirs, and it's like kind of under the little sickness going on, but and that's what they did, they took what's not theirs. They oppress a man and house, even his heritage, man. These damn devils, they destroyed the so-called Negro Latino natives' heritage by rape, robbing, and stealing, and beating them, killing them, and indoctrinating them with the philosophies of the so-called white man's philosophies, and that's how the so-called Negro Latino natives forgot who they really were, being a Hebrew Israelite, being a Hebrew Israelite. It's like, so that's what they did, man. These damn devils took it to the land by violence, conquered all the lands, Well, I can say, conquer the lands which, Jake was, reside, what was Zion in, or what was staying at. Like, let's say, they got the natives, the Negro Latino natives, they conquered the lands and named it after their names, So that's how the devil put out that deception of you are African American, you this, you that. Because when they got into power, they changed the names of what really were the biblical names of each nation. They changed that, and called people this and that, Chinese, and calling the other nations different names, and calling Jake, different names too, bywords. Calling them African American, Latino, Puerto Rico, so forth, Puerto Ricans, so forth. That's not who so-called Negro Latino natives are. They are the Hebrew Israelites, But from there, it's like. But from there, I'm end off with Amos 1:11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressors of Edom, and for 4 I would not turn away the punishment. Therefore, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. So yeah, the Lord, he's not gonna turn around the punishment that you did to so-called nigga Latino niggas to his people. You know, the Lord Yahweh Shai remember everything you damn devils did, man. The Lord's gonna destroy you damn devils, you red Hebrew Edomites, you red devils, man, for what you did. You know, you're not gonna get away with what you did, man. And the time's gonna come when the Lord gonna bring that wrath upon you damn devils, man. You know, and how it's gonna be felt is by the nuclear missile, by the fire of the chariots of the Lord. So it's Amos 1:12. End it off here and close it out. But will send a fire upon Teman, which shall divide the places of Bosra. So yeah, the Lord Yahweh will send fire, fire from the chariots of the Lord, and ultimately the nuclear missile is gonna devour this place, America, in different parts of the earth, where you devils at, wherever Esau at, and those that remain or escape the fire is gonna be taken into captivity. When the Lord, send his men to go hunt for you damn devils that, hiding in these bunkers, wherever you hiding there to take you into that damn slavery and build up the kingdom, and that's a future prophecy that's ahead, but it's gonna happen, after this place America's destroyed, and the Lord Yahweh try to take you out of the goddamn power seat, man. So with that, I ain't want to make this too long. Just want to go into that. This is why we call you devil. Violence. Y'all came to power by violence. So with that again, like our prayer to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, Bashem Kakadash, and double honors to the apostle elders of the Great Millstone, and salutations to the whole fillet. Let's push the truth, cause folk on earth, truth, sacred charity. To the apostles, elders, and to the Sisakin brothers, to the few Aqua sisters that do listen, keep the faith in y'all, keep fighting. That say shalom.